All right, good morning, everybody. Oh, here we are. We are back from spring break. Time to get ourselves going again for the last push to summer break now. We have just a few weeks left, really. When we think about it, that's not really that much. And so we're going to get ourselves going today and um, get ourselves to that point so that we can get to our next break. So, how was everybody's break? Anybody do anything special over the break? Anybody have any good fun?
Yes.
Yes. What?
Miss Chafin, I went to Virginia.
You did. What'd you go to Virginia for?
Um, it was my nephew's birthday party, so I went there to celebrate it and stuff, and then went to the beach and all that. Yeah.
Oh, well, cool. That's nice. That's good. I guess hopefully that was a little bit of fun and some relaxation so that we can get going again over here on this end. That's good. That's good. I We spent the first part of the break in Arkansas, my husband and I, and then we got back home, and from there it was just getting ready for Easter, busy as usual, getting ready for. I find just to get ready for a holiday, it's gotten more and more crazy. Used to be just Christmas, but now it's everything. It's it's there. It's just every holiday. It just seems like it gets busier. All right. Oh, Akia, you went to Washington, D.C. for a college tour? What college were you looking at? Howard? All right, that's cool. How was it? Did you like what you saw there? Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's that time. Definitely, if you are a senior, which most of you are, it's that time. It's that time. Start checking out those colleges, universities, whatever it is that y'all are going for in the spring, in the fall. Getting ready to go, making applications, applying for any, scholarships or any kind of grants or anything that you might be looking at. That will be here before you know it as well. And that's exciting for all of you to move on to the next step in your life. Oh, Zaisha, it was raining on Easter. Oh, that's not any good. It wasn't raining here, but it was overcast. It was not a pretty day at all, but it did rain. It did rain. I think that the rain that we get over here, y'all usually get it a little bit, little bit later, either the next morning or maybe in the afternoon. If we've had it in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, because I think those storm fronts have a tendency to move eastward through the country, and of course, so that would go through here and then finally get to y'all. Um, oh, Hill, nice. Columbus Tech. Okay, now all they need is your diploma. All right, and you'll be ready to go. All right, very good, very good. All right, good morning, Alicia. Let's see, we're trying to log in this morning, huh? Okay. All right. So I just put up just a little let's get started screen here. Just something to get us going so we can move on with the bell ringer. I'm gonna go ahead and we'll get that going. Um, I should have put that on here. I should have put a reminder. Okay, reminder for April the 14th. Okay, in a couple of weeks. Um, you'll be going for the marketing exam. We've been talking about that. I did add in, I added a couple things, I think, in modules. We'll take a look at that. I've just been trying to post things in modules just to give you some things to look at, just some things to, whenever you get a chance, just maybe look at some things because courses that you've had from the past would not be fresh in your mind, and so you might would want to be reminded of some of those. I've been trying to give you a few questions here and there, and hopefully maybe just kind of bring some of that back that you might have had in your other courses that you took. Anybody have any questions this morning? I know that we need to get into Canvas gradebook, all of us, including myself. I know that I have some things that I need to grade. Now that we're back from spring break, it's time to get busy, including myself. And so you need to check Canvas gradebook, see if there's anything that you need to get caught up on so that we can, get stay caught up. So when it comes time for the quarter to be over, we'll be ready. Okay, let me go grab a link for you. Okay, thank you, Akia. Okay, there is a link. Just take a quick look at those, and then we'll see what the answers are for those. I know I've said this before, I guess, and it bears saying again. Um, a lot of questions that we have in a course like this are, they're kind of they apply to our everyday things that we do, and so therefore a lot of them we just kind of know what they are, even if we don't remember specifically having them. We know what they are just by simply reading the question and seeing what the choices are, and we can usually get questions correct. Good morning, Jemiah. Welcome back from the break. Oh yeah. Hang on, I'll get there just a second. Here, I'll reshare the link. Good morning, Isaiah. I just counted and I think y'all only have like 30, really 30 days left of school. That's it. Yeah, because y'all's last day is May 15th. Mhm. These questions that are in the bell ringer are all from the topic of free enterprise. Okay, so here are the answers. All right, so you can check, see how you did on well, this was questions 21 through 28 through a document, from a document. All right, that was sent to me by Miss Martin. All right, I've just kind of, picked and chose. I guess that's the right word. Picked and chose um, various ones, just trying to hit different topics. This type of competition focuses on the sale price. Okay, what is that? I mean, when you look at those questions, that's what I was talking about a little earlier. Price competition. All right, so the answer, they kind of give you the answer sometimes. Number 22, this type of competition focuses on the quality or brand loyalty of a product. So this would be non-price. Okay, in other words, it doesn't have to do with the price. And so that question's answer is non-price. Number 23, what is a free enterprise economy? Okay. Free enterprise, both consumers and private businesses make the majority of economic decisions. That's why it's called free enterprise, because it's the consumer and businesses that make the majority of the decisions when it comes to the economy. Number 24, what are the four benefits of the free enterprise system? Well, when you think about if it's free enterprise, okay, we have the right um, to try whatever it is that we would like to maybe dabble in or take a chance with. And that means that we have the right to take a risk at trying something. Competition, profit, freedom of ownership. Those are the four elements of a free enterprise system. So when you look at them, okay, once again, you can kind of tell what those are. All right, market share doesn't really have anything to do with free enterprise. It's like what do you as a consumer um, have the right to do or to be involved in when it comes to the economy, branding, that kind of thing. Number 25, which is one of the three freedoms. Okay, well, We kind of just talked about that. Freedom to own private property, freedom to buy, freedom to sell. And we can do all those things. So the question should be, answer is all of the above. Profit formula. Okay, what does it mean to make a profit? Well, revenue, money that you make minus your expenses. That's going to be your profit. All right. And 27, why is profit important? Why is it important in a free enterprise economy? Because it is used to invest in businesses. Yes. It is used to purchase materials and pay employees. Yes. It provides an incentive for the owner. Yes. So therefore, all of the above. And 21, if labor costs increased, but everything else stayed the same, profit would decrease. Okay, that makes sense. If it costs you more to pay your employees, then your profit is going to decrease. Okay, so those would have been from the past. We had nothing to do with free enterprise in this course. This course has mainly been about digital marketing, things that we've looked at all year where digital is concerned. So, so therefore, you would not have seen those this year. Okay. All right. So having said that, then let's go ahead and let's take a look at where we are going next. But first, let's do a poll. I'm going to ask you a question. Okay, there you go. Answer that question. Which would you share faster? Okay. If you were online and I don't know, you were searching, scrolling, whatever the case may be, which would you share faster? A 30-second funny video or a 10-minute how-to tutorial? Because we know that that's how it is. Okay, online in our digital world of apps and platforms and things that we like to look at. Okay, so answer that real quick and let's see what we have and what our take is on what would we share faster or what would we share the most or I personally don't share a whole lot. Hill, what are you going to do at Columbus Tech? Oh, cool. That's a good field. You can do a lot with that in this day and time. All right, so in the poll, I'm seeing a lot of A's, 30-second video. I see a couple of B's, a 10-minute how-to tutorial. I think for many of us, and this is just my thoughts, when we are online, okay, we are usually there for entertainment, pass the time, whatever the case may be. And so something that is a funny video would, I think, from what I see here, be something that we would share a lot, as if we happen to see something, and especially if it's very short. A very short 30 seconds is what it says. And that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing the most of. Why would you not? I mean, I guess I kind of answered this, okay, because I was going to ask, why would you not, um, why would you have a tendency to share a 30-second video more so than a 10-minute how-to tutorial? I can think of a couple reasons. Number one, it's only 30 seconds, so it's quick. And number two, it's something that's more entertaining because the 10-minute how-to tutorial, that could be very useful. Um, but the 10 minutes is kind of long. Most people might not would, take the 10 minutes to look at. But I guess it depends on the topic. If it's a topic that someone is interested in, I think that that might be a way forward where it goes to where it comes to a 10-minute how-to video. Yeah, most of us are choosing A. 80% of us are choosing A. 20% of us are choosing B. Okay, going to send you another link. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at trends, okay? Trends. Trends. There are 5 trends. We are working in Unit 7. Before we left for the spring break, we did have a test on lessons 1, 2, 3 in Unit 7. And that test is still out there for me to grade. I know it is still there for me to grade because we've been on spring break. So I'm sure I was not able to do a whole lot of grading, being out of town most of the break, but I will get to that as soon as possible. If you need to make up, okay, if you need to make up the test that we took before we left for spring break, then tutoring hours start again this week. So you would need to come in during that hour. It would be tomorrow. Tutoring is from okay, let's get my brain working again. Let me go to let me go to modules real quick before we get started with that those slides. It's not very long, the slides that are there. All right. So right here, you would need to come in tomorrow if you need to take that test. All right. If you missed the test before we left for spring break, tomorrow from 1:35 to 2:35, I'll be on, and you could click in this link. It's not this class link. Okay. It's a separate link. It's a separate link, tutoring Zoom link, so that I can meet anybody from any of my classes that might need to come to that time to get something done or whatever. So it's here. It's also in it's also in well, I'll get myself there eventually. Okay, it's also here in the Learning Vault under contact information. It's here also. Link for tutoring, office hours. I call it office hours. We don't really need tutoring for a course like this per se. Really, we don't. It's not like a math, like not like a math class where you have math problems that you might not understand how to work them and you might need to go for tutoring. It's more, I call it office hours, a time where we can just meet to get things done outside of class that needs to be done. All right, so you could click on it here as well. But modules would be the best place because it's just right there at the top of modules. Well, it's not at the very top, but it's there for us to click on. So if you need to do that test, then you need to put that on your calendar and come in tomorrow so that you can take that test um, from the break, from before the break. Okay? Anybody have any questions about that? I know that there's a couple of us that do need to come. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look. So we're still, like I said, this is unit seven, creating a multi-channel strategy. We know when it comes to multi-channel, it's talking about several things when it comes to multi-channel and when it comes to marketing our brand. It's all about putting it in more than one place. Okay, maybe putting it into several places so that you can cover a wide range of consumers from various places. Like more than likely, people will see your brand if you are in more than one place, more than one platform, maybe, such as TikTok, Facebook, um, YouTube, any of those things, Instagram, any of those things that we like to use pretty much on a daily basis. So, but we're going to look at multi-channel marketing trends, okay? Because there are trends when it comes to multi-channel marketing. What are we using? What is the most effective? So that's what we're going to look at today. And there's 5 of them. All right, we just did this. Which would you share faster? Okay, so we're going to look at them, but why do trends matter? Okay, trends matter because um, as I said, it helps us to um, it helps us to see how things are going because what's a trend? Okay, what's a trend? A trend is something that is happening over and over again. If it happens over and over again, it's a trend. Okay, if we see things more frequently, more often, then it's a trend. So, but they can shift fast. Okay, when it comes to digital and in our digital world today, they can change very fast. And there's the example right here on our screen. Example. Instagram used to be all photos. Okay. Now, and I don't remember, maybe you don't remember that, or maybe you do, but it used to be all photos. Instagram was all photos, but now it prioritizes videos, reels of sorts. So that's what we're talking about. Trends can change and they can change very quickly. All right. It doesn't take long for it to start as one thing, but then become something else. Okay. And so what's happening, marketers, people that are marketing things, what are they looking for? Well, what content is getting attention? Okay. This is how they spot trends. What things are getting attention, what users are spending their time looking at, and what competitors are doing. Not only is it what they need to do, but what are others doing? So that's why trends matter because this helps marketers to be able to understand where they need to devote their time and their efforts when it comes to their marketing strategies. Okay, can you think of a trend? Okay, I'd be curious to see what you all have experienced. All right, can you think of a trend that's taken off? Okay, something that you have experienced in your life, or maybe one that's disappeared, something that's no longer here. It was, but it's not anymore. Okay, take a minute or so and think about that, and just drop your answer down in this short answer question. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go. I'll leave that there. All right, let's see what some of you said. Akia, okay, you said that a trend that has disappeared was where individuals will make a post say, and very mindful, very, yeah, yeah, you're right about that. Very mindful, very demure, very cutesy things. Yeah. I think that you're right about that. Okay, that's something that has disappeared, I believe. Because when we look at the things that are growing quickly, those kinds of things are no longer in the picture. Okay. Um, okay, Carly, you said old things, yeah, old trends, things that have been around for a long time. I mean, a lot of things have changed so quickly. And when we take a look, oh, it's black again. Let me see. I'm sorry about that. I can't always see when it's doing that, but okay, here, hopefully that maybe has helped. Carly, maybe old trends like 2000s rubber animal bands, things like that. Yeah, I think that could be too. See, Jordan, what'd you say? One that's disappearing is hype beast era fashion. Not sure that I'm familiar with that. Focused on brand name streetwear, flexing names like Supreme. Okay, yeah, from 2013 to 2019, somewhere in there. Okay. All right, well, let's just mention some things besides what y'all just mentioned here. What are some things that are growing? Okay. What are some things that's growing, that's becoming a trend? Well, for starters, AI, okay, AI is growing rapidly. All right, it is a trend. It is, and it's not really just going to be a trend. I mean, it's kind of a trend right now, but it's also becoming a way of life for us in various ways. AI, both positive and negative, and we know that. Fast buying things, real. I mean, trends are happening very quickly, very quickly. It's things that are coming about. Influencers, that's another one. Influencers have come into the picture very quickly. A trend of influencers um, making videos, posting videos, personalization. We've mentioned personalization a lot in this particular course this year, and so personalization, things that are more personalized for us as consumers, what we like, what we don't like, what we are searching for, more personalization. Those kinds of things are really, if you think about it, they are taking off. I mean, it seems like they have come out of nowhere. So, what are some things that are fading? All right. Generic ads. Okay. Things are hardly generic anymore because they're more personalized to us as consumers. So just generic ads, those are kind of disappearing. We still see them, but for the most part, things are more personalized for us. Cookie tracking. Okay. When I know that I always get kind of irritated whenever I see the question cookies, do you agree or disagree with cookies and that kind of thing? But those are that kind of tracking, because that's what cookies are. Cookies are a tracking device or a tracking mechanism for what's being searched, what's being looked at, and it cookies, but it's not cookies anymore. There's other ways. All right, AI for one, taking the place of cookie tracking. Hype trends, those kinds of things are kind of fading. So that's kind of what's growing. That grows quickly. That's come about quickly, as opposed to those things that might be going away. So, what is trending? These are the things that are trending. There's five of them. Okay, five of them. Can y'all see my screen? All right. Search engine optimization, and we've talked a lot about search engines, different types of search engines, but search engines, okay, what's being searched, what are people looking at? So that's one thing that is trending. Okay, also, we just mentioned some things, but these are five specific ones that's being used overall today. These are active marketing practices for businesses. This isn't something that is just iffy. These are definitely being used today. Search engine optimization, we've seen that before, SEOs. Engagement driven campaigns, and we'll take a look in just a second more specifically what those are. Social commerce is another one. Okay, you can kind of think in your mind what these might entail. Conversational marketing and gamification. Gamification, especially. All right. Everything, not everything, but a lot of things are coming across in a gamified manner because that's what entertains us, keeps us looking at something. So, what are they? Okay. Well, SEOs. All right. SEO, search engine, using keywords, captions, searchable captions, things like that. Those are search engine types of things. Okay, using keywords that's being typed in, being searched, looking at what other people are doing more of. What are they looking at? All right, that's what search engine optimization is, and particularly Gen Z. Okay, it's what Gen Z is using. Okay, what does Gen Z today often search? TikTok before Google. In other words, Google was all the thing, and it still is, okay? But now, in this day and time, Gen Z, all right, TikTok. We like TikTok, or you like TikTok. You like TikTok instead of Google a lot of times. Not saying you don't ever Google, but TikTok is something that is kind of coming around. TikTok is another one of those trends that have changed because it seems to me TikTok was people that were making short videos. We've run across TikTok before in our discussions. TikTok making videos, posting silly videos of different things. But now it's much, much more than just that. Search engines make content searchable and scannable. In other words, it's something that is very, very searchable. You can find just about anything by doing a search on some kind of a search engine. There's many different types out there. YouTube, Instagram. I mean, many things. Many. It's too many for us to mention. Uh, Let's see, some examples such as using relevant keywords. Okay, so in our searches, using relevant keywords, keywords that are coming up over and over again. Answer-based captions. Okay, answer-based captions. What's an answer-based caption? Anybody have any ideas what that means? Answer-based captions. Anybody have any ideas what you think that might be? Yes, Jordan, that's right. Captions that prompt a response. Okay. So that's what that's what answer based. I mean, in other words, they're asking you to answer something. They're asking you to input something. So that is exactly what answer based captions are, and using hashtags. Hashtags have come out of nowhere. I mean, I used to not pay attention to hashtags and I didn't like them. I thought that they were too, I don't know. I thought they were too cumbersome to have to input. We always have to input and type so many things already. I always thought that hashtags was just another extra something, but they're relevant now, okay? Because those hashtags is what steers us into various things, various places to look at this or look at that. So that is what SEO is, okay? Search engine, social search engine optimization. Okay, what's the second one? All right, second one was engagement driven campaigns. Okay, what are those? It's contents that asks users to participate. It's kind of what we just now mentioned on uh the answer based, all right? Kind of flows into engagement driven. All right, content that asks us to participate in something. All right, such as polls, questions and answers. How many times do we see things like that? Quizzes. Let's take this little quiz and let's see how healthy you are. Let's take this little quiz to see what kind of shoes you like the best. Let's take this kind of quiz to see what ice cream you like the best, or whatever. But it's things like that. Contests, giveaways. Okay, click here to enter the drawing. Okay, click here for a discount on this. Tag a friend, vote now. These are all things that are engagement. They're asking us to engage in something. This is another trend that is, this is big in marketing because this is where they collect the data, all right, that they have to know what exactly is trending. Challenges, okay, a lot of things will challenge us um, to something. So these are all engagement driven. Once again, kind of self-explanatory. All right, engagement driven campaigns. Have you ever entered a brand contest or voted in a poll online? Have you ever entered a brand contest? Let me ask that question, or you can see it's on the screen. Have you ever entered a brand contest of some sort? I really don't think I have, but some of us do. Some of us find some relevance there by entering a brand contest of some sort. Some of us like to take our chance at something. Sometimes it's a giveaway. Okay. And I know that my thoughts about giveaways is if you don't participate, you're never going to win. Okay. That's for sure. If you don't participate, it's definitely 0% that you're going to win. You have to try. Okay. I know y'all are too young to do lotteries and things like that, unless you're 18. I think it's 18. I think that's, I don't know if it's 18 or 21, but like lotteries, whenever the lotteries grow to this gargantuan amount of money, okay, and it's something I don't participate a whole lot in, but sometimes if it's a huge, just out of the ordinary, I might take a chance at a lottery, buying a few lottery tickets, because if you don't enter, your chances of winning, even no matter how slim it is that you're going to win, you don't enter, it's definitely 0% chance that you're going to win. 18, okay. And Hill, you said a few times you've won some. Yeah. Some people are lucky in that way. I know my sister-in-law, she enters things all the time, and she seems to win frequently. But definitely, if we don't try, it's definitely 0% there. The third trend, social commerce, selling directly through social platforms. Okay, now I don't know, this might be something we like, something we don't like. Because sometimes whenever we are on different platforms, we don't want to be sold to. We're not there because we want to have something, sold to us. But now more and more, this is a trend that's happening. That's the social platforms and that it's because marketers know this is where we're spending our time. So they're putting things out there to sell directly through social platforms. Things like shoppable posts. Okay, if you're in a post and there's a place where you can shop, you can press something and shop a brand or shop some kind of merchandise of some sort. In-app checkouts. Okay, they make it so easy for us to shop, click, put it in your cart, and then check out. So very, very simple. And that is how they want it because that's what makes it more enticing to us as consumers. Virtual try-ons and product demos. These are all selling directly through social platforms. Okay, it shortens the path. That's what the key thing is about social commerce because it shortens the path from scrolling. You're just scrolling along, minding your own business, to all of a sudden you've bought something. Okay, and that's what they're looking for. You're scrolling, but then all of a sudden you've clicked, you put it in a cart, checked out, and then you've bought something, and that's what they're looking for. That's what they're hoping is going to happen. Okay, really, this is where digital stores are becoming. Okay, from that's where they come from. All right, reducing the steps between seeing and buying in just a few taps. That is what that one is. Trend 4, conversational marketing. Using chat features like DMs or bots. Okay, how many times have we spoken to bots? More and more. Okay, more and more we're speaking to bots. And I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I think it could be a good thing because you can get a lot of information quickly. Okay, quickly. That's why it's a trend. Talking directly to and getting information. I know it can be kind of disturbing when you think about talking to a bot, but it is where we get information quickly. All right, quickly. More conversation, better connection. So we get faster responses, faster support. All those things come with conversational marketing. Okay. Better sales, better sales. Let me ask this question. Well, you can see it down there. Would you be more likely to buy if you could message the brand with questions? In other words, if you were looking and you had questions and you had the ability, even if it's through a bot, usually it would be, I don't know, it's not necessarily usually because sometimes you can speak and message to a person online. You know, you can get into a chat with somebody if you maybe have questions or you need help with something. Would you be more likely to buy something if you could ask somebody, or even if it's a bot? Okay, all a bot is really, if you think about it, all a bot is it's just an information. It goes onto the web and it whatever the question is that you're asking, and it goes and it searches the web for answers. Okay, and that's what it puts out. It's not like a person who sits there and thinks through an answer to a question. A bot is going on the web and they're just doing an overall search and putting out what they find there as answers. Depends on the product. Yeah, I think it depends on the product. And I don't know, honestly, and this is just my opinion, I don't know what your thoughts are. Even though it's kind of unnerving, speaking to a bot, I sometimes find that to be a little bit more concise than speaking to an individual in person. Okay, because with a person, sometimes that conversation, it's hard to understand. You know, whenever we're converting, you know, they may misunderstand what we're asking, or maybe they take it out of context what we might be asking or what we want to know. And so it's that human error. I guess it's that human error, I think, that takes place when two people are speaking together. A bot a bot it may not answer your question, but if it doesn't, well, guess what? You just ask your question in a different way. Okay. And it's going to put out there exactly what it finds. And there's not going to, if there's any miscommunication, well, all you got to do is ask the question again in a different way. And so it's not, you don't have to try to get that understanding between two people. So I kind of like them. It's unnerving when you think that you're talking to a bot, but it's a trend more and more. And lastly, gamification. We understand, makes sense. Why gamification? Make it fun, make it stick. That's the mantra here. All right, because if we make it fun, it's going to stick with us more. All right, if we make it a game, it's going to stay longer, it's going to engage us more, and so therefore it's going to be something that we're going to remember. Uh, some of the common tactics there are like badges, offering badges. You earn a badge if you accomplish something in particular, points, levels, interactive quizzes or spend to win. Okay, spend to win. I don't trust those spend to wins. I really don't, but they use them. Leaderboards, challenges, these all are gamification type things. Okay. All right. So those are the five specific trends that are being used in marketing today, but not every trend fits. Okay, not all trends are right for every brand. You have to look and see what is right for a specific thing. Some things it doesn't make sense to make it gamified. It doesn't make sense to put it as a quiz or a challenge of some sort. So before marketers jump on the bandwagon, they have three things that they need to ask themselves and think about before they do. Does this fit our brand? If it doesn't fit our brand, then it may not be a good trend. All right, for us. Is your audience is that particular um, business, company, whatever, okay, or is their audience using that particular trend, people that might be looking and searching for something in particular, maybe shoes. We like shoes for some reason. We all like shoes. A lot of the things that we do, it's all about shoes. But and can they do it well? Can they do it well, or will it feel forced? Sometimes when things feel forced. Okay. All right. So if we don't use the right trend, it can backfire. And if it doesn't make sense to the brand, then it feels forced, it feels fake. So it has to definitely match and feel like we're making some progress there. All right, so what we're going to do then, that's the five trends that are being used, okay, in today's time. Marketing trends over multi channels. A lot of times it's over multi platforms, multi apps, things like that. So this is where we're going to end it. We are already at the end of class. We just have a few minutes left. So we just have just a small little, need to put here. Let me edit this real quick. Okay, so if you look here on today's agenda, you'll see exactly what we talked about. These are just the notes. Like I've said in the past, I always like slides. I think slides are a little bit more pared, they're just pared down. You don't as They're not as wordy as these notes. They give us these notes. We've seen them, and I'll put them there anyway, in case we want to go and refer to them for whatever reason. But they come with all of our lessons. Okay, they're just it but what's in these notes is what is summarized in slides. So all I need for you to do is just a short little something to think about, and then we'll end it there. Right here, this multi-channel marketing trends matching. Okay, so there's just a few things to match. What do you think in these five things? All right, so matching these five things, a health food company, what trend might be something that might benefit a health food company? Sneakers. Okay, there comes the shoes again. All right, so we're just matching these five specific scenarios to the five trends that we just looked at. And so that's all this is. So just, do that, answer those, and then we'll see what those are whenever we get back to class on Wednesday. And then that's it. That's the only thing that we need to do after today's lesson. But you definitely need to be going into Canvas Gradebook, making sure that you are looking to see what you have missing, because I know some of us do have some things that are missing. And then in the meanwhile, too, I'm going to go and continue to grade the things that have been submitted already. And as I said, if you need to take the test, all right, then you need to come into class and to the Zoom, the tutoring office hours tomorrow from 1:35 to 2:35, and then click on the tutoring Zoom link. And then when you come in, then I can open up the test for you. Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions from today? Welcome back. Here we are. We're back in the groove, and we're going to move on and get all this done, and then we'll be ready to go for summer, and y'all will be graduated. Anybody have any questions before we sign off? Okay, it's 8:40. I don't see any questions. I was just looking at those that need to take that quiz. All right, there's a few of us that do. Okay, some of us are not here. See, Carly, you need to take it, take that. Cameron, you need to take that. Okay, so 1:35 tomorrow. Come into the Zoom for tutoring, and then I can open it up for you then. Okay. All right, I have 8:40, so that means we are at the end of class. Y'all are out of here. So y'all have a great day today. Welcome back, and we'll be back on Wednesday, and we'll see y'all then. Okay, have a good afternoon.